Okay. So why automate? What's a task that you wouldn't mind having someone or something else do for you? Just think, it doesn't have to even be related, just like mowing the grass. I don't know.
Laundry.
Where?
Laundry.
Laundry. Okay, great. I like that. Yeah.
Meal planning.
Meal planning. Okay, great. That's a very good one, as a matter of fact. Yeah. Scheduling. All right. We got. Just from a professional level, this is your place of work. Average emails you have not responded to this week, greater than 50. How about 30? Okay. 15. All right. I've got about 10 to 12 in there right now. All right. We're going to look at that tonight. So let's kind of park there because that's one of our things. So saving time, using AI to help us automate tasks that we'll talk about tonight, like emails and meetings. Hopefully, with time, we are going to do this. I've got an hour yet. So within the last 20, 15 minutes or so, there's a AI walkthrough I'm going to do of an actual meeting, and we're going to see how that works. Also, before I do that, I got to find, there's something else I need to get going here. Right there. We'll start that later. Time-saving benefits. Common automated tasks, data entry, reminders, commonly using AI tools. What else we got there? Enhanced productivity, minimizing human error, and improving workflow efficiency for organizations. So let's talk about email management. That is the biggest topic. If I said, what is your biggest pain in your work or personal, it's going to be the big email. The big email. Overload challenge. Email it's a common issue. I don't care what industry you're in. I don't care if it's personal, whatever. I mean, your home email you can kind of get away with, right? Donnie knows, he gets a ton of email. I got one late this afternoon from one of the executive directors asking about an iPad. I'm like, man, I wish I could just, make that happen, right? Just boom, it happens. Automated response. I've got whatever, iPads out the wazoo. Here you go, just take one. AI-powered email sorting, using those kind of tools to sort important emails for users, and popular email tools like focused inbox, smart labels, filters, and using AI tools to improve. I put my drink. There it is. Improve productivity and reduce stress. Because I don't want to have to go home at the end of a day. I'm tired and I'm going home and it's like, I've got 15 emails I haven't responded to yet. Those are 15 angry doctors right now. Maybe, I don't know. All right, so let's talk about that. All right, so Google, Gmail, has something called Gemini. Now, unfortunately, I wish it came with my subscription like Copilot does. It does not. Gemini doesn't even have actually, yes, it does. Right now, I'm doing a 14-day free trial with Gemini. But it is like $16 a month for Gemini, which I think is kind of crazy. But I'm just starting to explore the capabilities. It's just like, we have ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot. This version of Google's is called Gemini. So what you can do in emails is summarize long threads, write and refine emails, and extract email content. So I want to do some live demonstrations on this tonight. Again, it's live TV, and I'm on a public network, so we'll see how this works. Hopefully it goes well. So I'm in my Gmail. This is my Tech Coach Gmail. As you can see, I get a ton of junk mail. I don't think there's even anything in my top drawer here that relates, except I think my class email and some other things here. But at the top here, I have this little icon for Ask Gemini. And what I can do is when I click that, bring it alongside of everything else here. Obviously, it works a little better on a bigger screen or dual screens, but on a laptop, it's pretty much what it is. Right out of the gate, it can tell me, like right now, what it wants me to do. What do I want it to do? Delete messages, preview before deleting, sales pitch, create copy creator, those kind of things, just some generic things. Those are called gems. You can create your own gems. Again, lots to talk about, won't get into it here. However, prompting is the key. There are classes, I know Purdue has a great class I'd love to attend, and I just wrote a request for that at work to get funding to have that class. But the scripting, or the how you ask an AI bot or anything, is the key. There's components to doing that. Again, I can't cover them here. I will send out an email or something like that that includes those. There's like 5 different ways, 5 different topics to include when you're asking an AI chat something. So that is your prompt. So for example, in this case, I could say something like, I can't talk and type at the same time, I'm sorry. Show me emails from the last 30 days with attachments. All right, and it comes up and says, sure, you can find your emails in the Gmail search, but it gave me a little link here with sources. So I can click on that. And I apologize, this is not the brightest thing up here. And here's all the emails with links to those emails of those sources. So if I said, okay, there's one right here, click on that. And what it also does, these are considered attachments. Anything that's linked, so this is Extra Life, this is a nonprofit that I'm part of for Riley. Even links, if it has a link that's pointing to a cloud box or something with a file, it will bring that up as well. There's a spreadsheet. All right, kind of impressive, but could do a little better. So let's go back here, and I'm going to clear that. I'm going to say, actually, let's go back here. If I could spell tonight, that'd be great. I'm going to ask it to draft an email to Extra Life about donation opportunities. Now, what it should do, what I know Copilot does, it will go back and look in your inbox for other content related to that topic you're asking for. And here, this is pretty interesting. Here, so it basically drafted this and said, as a past participant, I'm just going to summarize this real quick, pull out some key things here. So it knows that I didn't tell it I was part of this for 3 years. But here it's saying, I previously participated for 3 years raising funds. I've made a difference in Rally Kids. I'm interested in learning more about how I continue. Could you please provide information? Fundraising for Children's Miracle Network, and so forth. So again, I don't have a lot of email in here to do that. We'll see more with Outlook. But again, it's going to search your inbox and find that kind of content in order to make decisions like that. So here's an email I get from Common Sense Education. It's a nonprofit, faith-based group. What I wanted to do is, while I'm in this email, I wanted to summarize the key points. So summarize the key points of this email. All right, and it's going to basically go through. It's going to say, here's the content finds. Most boys are actually seeking masculinity, content, that kind of thing. Influencer impacts, stereotypes, and there's percentages in here. Let me find those real quick. Power of real relationships. So again, it took that and made a pretty much an outline of that. If I go to sources, it will also give me algorithms are serving messages about, and it will tell me exactly how that's geared. All right. I could take that as well and refine it and say, so what are the major issues boys are facing based on this email? Exposure to the narrow masculinity content, influence of content creators, stereotypes, loneliness and its connection to digital content. I mean, bam. There's a lot here. So it takes everything, and again, this is just an example of pulling data from an email, right? You can apply this to anything, whether it's an email from your boss or content for college or a class that you're going through. Pull out, extract certain data, summarize it for me. What I can do with this is if I scroll down to the bottom where I end the content here, I can go ahead and copy that. And if it's something I like, I hit a thumbs up. If it's something that fits what I'm looking for, that way it trains the AI, it trains Gemini, oh, you liked this content, well that means I'm going to conform my searches based on what I see. If I said thumbs down on it, I didn't like the content, it would try again and do something different. But taking that, I can then, copy that content and use it for whatever purposes I need to. All right? Very fluid. You can see how, I know when some of us growing up, applications were all independent. You had Word, you had email, you had this, and they did not play together. This is the fluidity. This is the how the devices or the applications are, excuse me, all working in unison to get and gather data. That's something that we didn't have, and it's positive. It's very good. But in the other sense, it's like, wow, how much data gets passed around in that manner. But again, it's all about the tool. Hammers can be used for good and evil, just like the internet. There's different things it can be used for. Where am I at? 7:12. All right, let me go back to, oops, come here you. All right, writing and refining emails. So if I want to compose an email, I usually like to blow it up a bit, so I'm going to get a bigger screen here. Let's see who I can put in here. I'll just put my wife in there. How about that? Boom. All right. So what I like about this, and again, you'll see this in a lot of emails now. It's hard to see up here, but as soon as I click on the body of this box, it's saying, help me write. Some applications, it's a / and that opens up the AI module to do that. In this case, I believe you can click on this button right here, and it will give you a little box at the bottom. Again, this is really crazy. I can't see that. It starts out by it just gives you some ideas. A happy birthday to my wife, a glowing review for a team member, email to catch up with an old friend. So it's just giving you some topic ideas there. So I'm going to just kind of click on that and say, I'm going to put in there anniversary vacation ideas. All right, and again, this is one of the things, especially with documentation and emails, you have to do some refining. All right, because you have to eyeball it, make sure you go through. Here again, so it wrote this for me. I can accept it, insert it, or I can change it again. Dear, and it doesn't know my wife's name apparently based on the email. That's okay. I'm looking for some anniversary vacation ideas. Do you have any suggestions? I don't think I'd really go to her for that, but hey, it's she is the travel
really
agent.
Don't say thank you, Stevie.
Yeah, right. Right. See that? So that's great. So what I could do?
Fail on that one right there.
Fail
Steve.
on that,
Failed.
or I could ask the AI to refine it, shorten it, elaborate, or make it formal. Let's see what formal looks like. It's like, you know what? I would like to request some suggestions for anniversary vacation idea. Thank you for assistance, honey.
Not my husband. Sincerely.
Right. So you get
when you go home.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I accidentally sent that, right? Thankfully, AI does not send it for you. I actually had a dream one night that happened. I seriously, it was a while ago. I was writing an email. When I write emails, especially if they could be a little tense, I don't put anything in the to. I don't put any recipients whatsoever. I'm like that, the 4 rules of communication first, all right? And then I'm like, okay, think about it. But I had this nightmare, it probably was, that I wrote this inflammatory email and sent it not to my director, to her director. Didn't go well. But I woke up, I still had a job. So apparently that was good. But, those kind of things, it's like, oh, man, okay. But anyway, moving on. I could recreate it. And let's just do something here. I don't want to actually use that. So I'm going to hit the little X on it right there. Let's do... always hit the enter key. It's like, oh, let's see what happens. So I said, write an anniversary poem to Lynette of 25 for 25 years of marriage, and here's what it comes up with. I don't even want to say this really.
Is this better, Greg?
If he's a poet, if he's not a poet, then it's not good. But
no, AI is my poet.
That's what, is your next class the Christian worldview on AI? So.
There you go. No, the next class is going to be like dealing with divorce. Is what. All right. So anyway, I'm not going to read all that right now for the sake of time. I can
give him Barb flowers. She'd much rather have a chainsaw than flowers. So.
See, you know what? The first time I gave my wife flowers, she's like, "Why'd you waste money?" Seriously, it's like go to Igloo and get me a vanilla Coke.
Yeah.
That's her love language right there.
AI probably didn't know that.
I know it, right? It knows what's in my bank account though, as far as can I go afford flowers or vanilla Coke. Usually it's a vanilla Coke from the dollar menu. All right, I'm going to stop that there. I'm going to disregard those suggestions. The other thing I like about organizing, going back to organizing emails and such, is the labels feature. You can assign labels. Now, in some emails, they're called groups or folders. In Gmail, they're called labels. So I have a class, FCI class list here that I do not have anything in. But if I was to go to my my contacts over here, I could go through and say, oh, let me get me out of this here. Let me go back to, there we go. I could assign labels to individuals. I'm on a different screen now. Oh, it's already there, FCI students. So that one's already there. Oh, there they are. And what I can do with that is I can create automated mailing lists based on email content that I write with AI that could say on a certain day and time, I want you to send this email out to the class. Or it could be, let's say 3 hours before class time, 6:30, send this email out to this group. That's very doable. And that's something within more of the rules base we can get into that would do more of that. I'll probably come out with a guide on that before the class or course is over, so you have an idea of what that looks like, because those are powerful tools. Not really a lot of AI to that, but it's automation that helps you, with that management. All right, let me go back to, oh, what are you doing?
Not really a lot of AI.
Why am I hearing myself?
We don't want to hear that.
That helps you with that
All right.
management.
So now let's move to, I tell you what, these classes go so fast. All right, using Copilot. Copilot does, since it, it is a Microsoft product, it's, you pay fees and subscriptions for this, it's going to have a little bit more to it. So we're going to look at summarizing long threads, kind of the same thing we did in Gmail, drafting and coaching through. But then I want to get into sorting and making some rules. On just kind of quick show, Outlook users in the room. How many are using Outlook? Most of us, right? Okay. Some Gmail. So most businesses, organizations are using Outlook as their form of email processing. All right, so let's go through that and bring up, where are you? There we go. All right, I'm actually in Microsoft Edge for this. So since I do have a subscription to O365 or Microsoft Online, I do have the Copilot option over here. And I will say that this works best with the online web version, not so much with the client version. So if you have the installed version of Office, it just takes a little more getting used to for that. I prefer the web-based. I like to have all my tabs open. It does your searches a lot closer to the web, and it's still the same content you would have if it was client-based. So, and it saves a ton of storage on your hard drive of your computer. All right, so from Copilot, I'm going to click on over here. And again, it comes up with a bunch of tasks already predefined. You can actually create more if you wanted to. I can create a professional email template to notify others of an incident, write an email that requests clarification on latest contract amendments, or summarize recent emails where I was mentioned with sender details and grouped by topic. I like that one. I do that a lot. It's one of the things when I'm looking for emails, especially in my work inbox. This is my personal. I have things set up by groups, and you start one email chain off between 3 people. What happens in 10 hours? Oh, actually, even say that. 15 minutes, 3 more people are added.
27.
Before you know it, 3 people turns into 27 recipients, the VP, the COO, and some person from I don't know where. He's a vendor. Don't know. So I can use that one. Again, that is a predefined prompt. All right, I mentioned earlier about learning how to prompt. So the way this prompt is put together is very specific. It's looking for information, keywords, summarize, recent. Where from? Emails. What about those emails? I was mentioned. Okay, it already knows who I is because I'm logged in. It's based on me, my inbox. With sender details grouped by topic. And I don't know what it's going to find because I don't do a lot with this, but that prompt is very specific. It's following a set of rules that the AI is trained to recognize, and that's what's really important. So I'm going to go ahead and run this, and sometimes it gives me some weird stuff, but here it says I can definitely help you with that. Really? Are you definitely going to help me with that? Organize the results quickly. I can understand what topics are being discussed. Let's see. Let's see. Mention tagged. I need to access your email inbox. Well, hello. You're right there. So I'm not sure why. It's done this to me before. I'm not sure exactly why. I do know in the version I use at work, this would have been very easy to find. But again, it's live TV and you get what you get. Let's see. I'm going to thumbs down on that one. And I'm going to do another one here myself. All right. Let's just do this. So I asked it to draft a marketing communication based on the last email from Carnival Cruise Lines.
Don't go.
Why not? You're not a cruiser?
Oh, I've been on many. I love Royal Caribbean, but not during turkey season.
Well, and exactly, that's kind of like where this is going here. I wish it would, like, there we go. Based on the latest updates from Carnival Cruise Lines regarding Hurricane Melissa, there's a draft marketing communication that you could use to inform and reassure customers about the positive brand image. And there it is. Let me do this just so we can see it with a little more clarity. I'll copy that out and pitch it here. So I like that. It gives me a subject line, header, and then value guest, and then some topical bullet statements on that content. And it's actually current. That's current information right now. I don't know if you've been watching. I had some live streams up from Jamaica. And we were just there earlier this year at Ocho Rios, and the scenes are just horrendous right now. All right. Let me go back here a second. And okay, so draft emails, coaching. Let's talk a little bit about the coaching models. Let's do a new, actually, you know what? I'm going to go back here. Let's get rid of that one. I'm going to go back to my email from Victoria earlier, and I'm going to respond back to that. I'm going to pop it out so we can see it. You know what? If I do that, you know what? That ain't going to work because it won't be seen online. So let's just move it over here. All right, so draft with Copilot. I'm going to bump the button there with Copilot, and I'm going to make a short and friendly message. And it's going to basically insert some content for me. Let's write a short and friendly message about, and I'm just going to fill that in there. Come on, Steve, today we type. Yeah. I can type normally on a regular keyboard. Laptops, not so much. All right, and I just added in there about adding some extra in there about expectations in the room setup, and it came back with a nice little email for me, thanking for the setup information for the class, and inserted the class, blanked brilliant. Great to know that there's 30 people registered. I appreciate you arranging the open wall between. So basically it's regurgitating some content and then placing in some thank yous and some acknowledgments. Again, the key being I might have to do some of my own intervention there, right? Make it a little more personal. I can keep it, I can discard it, I can make it shorter. Let's do that. Writing my email, and there you go. Thanks for the class setup info. Great to have 30 people registered. I appreciate the room arrangements, blah, 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 yada, yada, the end. So, again, do what you want with that. And then you can add your, oh, come here. I'm going to say, where is it? I'm going to keep it, and then it makes it permanent in my email right there. All right. So drafting, searching, summarizing, kind of a lot of the same thing. I do want to do one more thing here because Copilot's a lot more intuitive when it comes to content summarizations. I want to find the one I had earlier. I'm going to go to Project Management Academy, and I'm going to ask it to summarize the key points of this email.
Educate 360.
I was going to say, that's probably familiar to you. All right, here are the key points. Claim 10% for your PMP, project management certification, limited time offers. Basically just going through a bunch of different topics there, training support, how to get certified, and then at the bottom it does put some sources that you could respond to. This takes you to a link to claim your discount for your PMP. I think 10% is a little tight for PMP. I mean, if you ever gone through it, you know how much that costs? Yikes.
Yeah, I know exactly how much it costs. But I will say, usually, if you just to make a quick plug, in November, typically there's an extra special discount for
Okay.
veterans.
Oh, fantastic.
So if you do know of a veteran who wants to go for their PMP.
So Project Management Academy,
With,
veteran
them
discount.
/ Educate 360.
All right, for those online, get your project management certification.
It's a live
But
class right
it
in
comes with a lot.
Minneapolis.
You have to have, I think, for the associate, it's like 1,500 hours, I think.
No,
And there's only so much you can go back, I thought.
no,
No?
it's not that much,
I thought
nothing close to that.
maybe they changed, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I just knew it was out of my reach. All right, so let's go now into some more management tools.
Yeah,
All right,
it's a lot
let's.
easier.
What's that?
The CAPM's a lot easier.
CAPM, that's
Very
what I was
easy.
looking at. Yes, that's the one I was looking at. All right, so again, managing our inbox, making it easier, more efficient. Let's look at some tools when it comes to that. So I'm just going to go back to my main inbox. One of the tools I really like is the conditional formatting. If you see, I have some areas that are popping up in red and not blue. These are things that I want to surface to the top. I want to see them quicker. I will say in the client version on your computer, not the web version of Outlook, you can actually bold, italic, and do all kinds of things with this. But I'm going to go up to my gear right here in the corner, and I love this feature. We're going to talk about two things here. The conditional formatting, really not AI based as much as it is instruction based, like here's what I want you to do based on an algorithm I'm giving you, right? So right now I have this one set up, which basically is saying that the title of it is important vacation. And I'm saying from, what's the condition? Here we go, looking at Boolean. People know what Boolean algebra is back in the day. It's just logically thinking from this email, I want to paint a color on it. All right, I want to choose a color. I want it to be red, blue, whatever. That's what it's going to look like in the preview. And then going forward, any emails that come in from that specific email are going to be highlighted in that color. Another step further, well, let me set one up here because I didn't set one up. I'm going to set a different one up here. First, let me just go find an email that looks kind of, let's see, we'll go down to, well, let's just do this one here. And again, it's helpful to have the actual email itself. So what you can do is if you go to the email and just click on the sender, it will take you in this little card. And from this card, I can go over here and highlight, hover over top of the email, and click on this little copy button. Close that. Go back into my conditional formats, add a new one, and I'm going to call this learning. And the condition is from, paste in that email. All right, so now I pasted an email. What I want to do with it, I want to call it a different color. I'm going to make it green because learning is profitable. And then save it. Now that rule is now active. All right, that rule is going to start working right now because there we go. We got green there. Now if I right click on that email right there and I can go to find related from this sender, what's going to happen? All those emails from that email address are going to be green. Fun little tools like that just like those of us who get thousands and thousands of emails, those little tips are worth it. because it's easy to spot, and I can go right to it if I'm current with my email and not scrolling and scrolling. Those things float right to the surface. Now, what if I wanted to further manage that, and I wanted to say, you know what, I want a separate folder. I don't want that when it comes into my inbox. I want it to go right to another folder. I don't even want to see it unless I intentionally go to that folder and want to see it. How does that work? Well, again, I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to go to my gear, and I'm going to set up a rule. Anybody hear rules before in Outlook? These are wonderful things. If you haven't done them before, I highly suggest setting up some rules because it makes life so much easier. And I'm going to add a new rule. I got a lot of them in here already. Now, I will say from an AI perspective in Outlook, I did not create these. Did not create these. These emails that are set up in here like this now are based on the fact that when I went into, let's say, I don't know, this one here, and I right-clicked on it, and I said block, or I said report as junk. When it removes it, it creates a rule. I think I don't know if I had one in there or not, but that should be creating or has created a rule. All right.
Undo that one.
What's that?
You better undo that one.
That's all right. I don't use that thing anymore anyway, so.
A lot of hotels enjoy it.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it's probably more down there. I'm not going to do all those. But if I wanted to add my own specific rule, I could do the same thing. I could say project management, select a condition. Now I got a ton here, ton of different things. The one that I want is, my eyes are so, it should be move.
Maybe an action.
Hmm?
You're talking about an action.
Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, condition. I'm in a condition. Yeah, sorry. I want, add a condition. Sorry, I did that wrong. Thank you. There we go. There we go. Now I want to move that to a folder. And if I scroll down, there's not one that I want, so I'm going to create that folder and call it learning. All right, and I can actually run that rule right now. And that's going to clean every single one of those out of my inbox. And going forward, those will start going into that folder. So if I go back over here now. Yeah.
Is there a way that you can have something like Copilot go through your inbox and determine emails that they're actually asking you to do something?
So based on
I get a ton of
tasks,
emails that are
yes.
like, hey, you're being informed of stuff as opposed to,
Right.
hey, I need you to do X.
Right, so based on condition of action items, those kind of things. There is. I don't know if I have time to look at that tonight, but I'm putting that in my, write that down. I want to do that for, we'll call that task extraction. I also think you can do it where it not only brings it out or brings them to the top, you can select one and have it make a task out of that. And Microsoft has a tool called Task. I think it's just called Task. And you can add it to that. So let me find out about that for you. What was your name?
Wow.
Bob. All right. Thank you for that. All right. Can't believe I'm at 7:39 already. All right, let's go to another thing here I want to do. We got to cover this, or else we're going to be carrying over to next week. All right, workflow automation tools. This one, I really like this. This is not for everyone, but it definitely can help with moving things between different applications or interfacing between different applications. Anyone heard a term called API? Application Program Interface. All right. So it's a term that mainly satellite like developers. Like that was only a developer thing, right? What's consumer based now? It's basically you can pay a subscription for an interface to do certain things. There's a program called Zapier that I've been playing with. Anybody heard of some of these tools? Zapier. I know one is Microsoft Power Automate, which is very technical. Anybody use Power Automate? It's a Microsoft product. Big brain in the room right here. So I've tried. I've taken an introductory class. Like, nope, that's not my area. Just leaving that alone. But what it's allowing you to do is automate tasks between applications. So one of the examples I'm going to show you, and I developed this afternoon, something very simple that I wanted to say, okay, how do I do a task and then hands off it from now on? All right. One of the things I'm really wanting to do is to send an email out every time I publish a video or every time I do a certain thing. So practical workflows like saving email attachments or sending reminders automatically can be done through this kind of environment. So how an API works, it kind of sits between a server and a client. So that API is kind of like a intermediary host. So for an example, your weather app, you have whatever weather organization has their database, they're managing that database. How do I, as a consumer, get or understand that information? Because I don't want all that. I just want what's on my phone. I want to know, current time, temperature, all that stuff. Well, APIs sit between that. So you have my app on my phone. When I make a request, it goes to the database, says I need this information. API generates that, serves it to my phone. All right, that's the highest level I can explain that, right? So we can now, on our own, develop those things. Let me see, make sure I'm not, let me go back. There we go. So let me show you what I was able to do with something like Zapier. All right. So in this case, what I did is I wanted an app or an API that said anytime an email comes into my inbox with a certain description line, I want that attachment to go right into my Gmail, into my Google Drive, is what I said. So let me bring something up here real quick. I'm going to bring up my Gmail. Oh no, I don't want Gmail. I want Drive. Right there. Too many folders. So I created a folder called Attachments. All right, it's empty. However, if I go into my inbox, I don't have any email for what I'm about to do. So I'm going to go to here. I'm going to show you how this works, and I'm going to show you the back end in a second here. I'm going to create an email. And the conditions are going to have to be very narrow because the way I designed this was very simple. All right, so I'm going to go to Tech Skills Coach. And this is a customer file. All right, and I'm going to go to my browse. It's on my desktop, and I'm going to call it that. Right there's my file, short PDF, and I'm going to send that. All right, so while that's doing its thing, I'm going to go back to my inbox. There's the customer email that came in, okay, and it has an attachment on it. All right, if I go into that, I can see it's right there, and there's nothing here yet. All right, it takes about a minute. So what's going on behind the scenes there is, right here is my email attachment to Google Drive. Now this does not have to be up and running. This is done on a server side. What happens though is when I set this up, I have to connect both my Gmail and my Google Drive so it has authentication rights. Now, yes, you get in that realm of, do I trust an application to manage my box, to manage my email, or so forth. So again, within the bounds of contract and processes, it's one of those things, well, okay, let's just see where this goes, right? I mean, you're not guaranteed anything in cyber world anymore. All right, so here's basically how that looks. So the first step is monitoring the inbox. It monitors the inbox, and it's looking for a keyword in the subject line called customer file. Then it uses conditions that says, okay, if it's from this person and a file exists, then you're going to the next step, which is taking that file and moving it to a folder called attachments automatically. So how this looks, okay, and I do not want to convert it to a document, so that is false. So if I had, let's say, a list of customer contacts, or I had a prospect list, and it was getting fed to me from a certain app that had a certain condition on it. Say, okay, here's a VCF card for this contact. I want to put this in a database. What's going to happen is, as soon as that email comes in, I don't have to look for it. I don't have to try to find the contact list in the attachment. What it's going to do is it's going to find it and drop it right in there. Again, that's just a very tip of the iceberg of what an API, or how you can code an API to do things. I mean, you can have it extract data from Google Sheets, from an Excel doc, take that data, manipulate it, and bring it into an email list. There's a lot to how that would look, but that's just a basic example. Again, this is subscription based. It's not, it's a productivity tool. So obviously, productivity tools, something like this, are going to be a little more like, hey, got to pay something for it. But again, triggering and actions is how this is based. If you want more information on that, let me know. I'm still learning it myself. It's a great tool, and it's one of those things where automation again can really help in areas like that.
This is a general question, you probably don't have the answer, but how do you know what's legit and not?
Right. There are ways, more so with video, with visual. Up until recently, like your video reproductions, AI has a hard time with gradients, skin tones, shadowing, fingers, wrinkles, those kind of things. So first thing I seriously, people think I'm a nerd. I'll zoom into a video and I'm like, oh no, how can you tell? I mean, you look at certain features and when an eye winks or something, nothing else is moving, or they turn and the shadow stays here. The big one is six fingers and those kind of things.
Will Smith eating spaghetti.
What's that?
Will Smith eating spaghetti.
There you go. I mean, you can find a ton of stuff out there, but it is getting very hard to do. There's supposed to be tools that will detect that, but there's ways around those tools. Bad actors are bad actors, and they're always a couple steps ahead of the game. All right. Again, if you have questions, email me. Catch me in a hall around here or something, wherever. And thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next week talking about more of the Gen AI stuff.